talk about the unexpected. I'm not even sure what you do from where you sit, from where the businesses and supply chains you study sit, what you do with these shifting numbers. For the past couple of days, there's been some shift in the count every day. How is that factoring into the way businesses can plan?
First of all, let's understand that this disruption to business may be different than most disruptions in living memory. In the sense, it's not like SARS or Fukushima or Thailand floods, in that the effect may be relatively small, but the uncertainty is huge. So it can be reasonable, like those, or it can be compared to 2008 or the 1918 Spanish flu epidemic that had millions and millions of people dying. And it's, let me just say a word about it. It's different because it affects both supply and demand. It's not just manufacturing in China that is affected. It's not just getting parts into manufacturing in China. For example, we talk about Apple. Apple gets its part from 43 countries that go into Foxconn to assemble the phones. Now we have travel restrictions. We lost all the belly cargo. Most of the freight, 52% of the ton kilometers of freight, fly in the belly of passenger planes. We're just losing most of this capacity, in addition to UPS and FedEx that cut capacity. And there's demand. The demand in China is down. So we have both supply and demand effect.
So I know that, as you just said, we don't know exactly what the short-term impact really is. But even long-term, if you were a company that was thinking about diversifying your supply chain out of China because of trade issues, does coronavirus now either accelerate a timetable, tip the scale one way or another? What do you think the legacy of this is going to be on supply chains in general?
It depends. If this is a relatively short-term impact, not much is going to change. However, as I said, this can be a very long-term impact. Let me describe what might happen. In supply chain management, we call it the bullwhip effect. Let me explain in a few seconds to your audience what's the bullwhip effect. Let's say a retailer sees its sales go down by X%. He has too much inventory. He thinks it will continue. So having too much inventory, he orders 2x less percent from his wholesaler. The wholesaler sees 2x less percent reduction. Using the same logic, he is ordering now 4x less percent. So at the end of the supply chain, what we call the upstream of the supply chain, we have suppliers, many of them are small and leveraged, and they're just going in drove out of business. So this will be a longer-term effect that will work directly to what you are saying, because the loss of some of these suppliers upstream in the supply chain may force company to move out of China, move to other places. It's not clear that they'll move to other places in Asia, but get out of China to some extent.